Hello Year 9, Mr. Melly here. Hope everyone is well.
Hi Year 9 and welcome to online learning. I'm looking forward to seeing your faces again and excited for learning.
Hello Year 9, I hope you're all doing really well. Long time no see, hope to see you all again soon.
Hello guys, how are you? I miss you. Hope to see you very soon. See you later. Bye.
Hello everyone, hope everything's okay and hopefully I'll see you soon. Take care.
Okay. 1, 2, 1003, 1004. Oh, hi there, Year 9. I hope you're well. Don't know if you heard, I just did over 1,000 reps, really getting that deep burn. Hope you're staying fit and well. Stay safe and hopefully see you soon.
Right, welcome everyone to
Hello Year 9, Mr. Melly here.
Our first virtual assembly with Year 9. Obviously this is all quite new to all of us, so hopefully nothing goes wrong and we don't do too badly on our first go. We have got quite a few things we want to discuss with you today. So a few things we're going to go through. Community classrooms, we're going to discuss what we've been doing there. Virtual lessons and blended learning, I'm going to talk to you about how we're going to move forward with that and how we're going to move a lot of your lessons online. Show my homework, making sure people are getting logged on. It's quite a big bit to talk about. And then keeping safe at home and generally out in the public as well, we're going to discuss. So we'll do a quick update as to sort of what's been going on within Charter Academy and what we've been up to. So like you all know, obviously the school's been closed since lockdown, since March now, and we've been sort of still running as a school for a very select group of people, and within that we've had our community classrooms going. So a lot of you probably have already heard about what we've been doing with community classrooms from your mates and from your peers. We've been doing a lot of the home learning stuff, so the work packs, the Hegarty Maths, Tassamai, Show My Homework, getting logged on, a lot of the same stuff that you've been doing at home, so we make sure that everyone in community classrooms is doing the same as and working as hard as you lot. And then with that as well, they've been doing lots of other enrichment activities and getting an opportunity to take part in things that they might not get to do on a day-to-day basis. So lots of cooking's gone on whilst we've been in this community classroom period. We've been doing lots of sport every day, so PE every day at the moment and some double lessons. Science experiments, have been some amazing experiments I've seen from the likes of Mr. Medway, and then design technology. So one group were actually making go-karts at one point, and then lots more going on top of that. I know Miss Cotton has been especially creative with some of the things she's been getting the community classroom groups to do. As you all know, we've shifted to our home learning due to the pandemic going on at the moment, and it has been the new normal. We've had to shift to that use of virtual learning and use of Hegarty Maths, use of Tassamai, and as we'll discuss a bit further, but as you all know, we've signed up with Show My Homework, or Satchel 1, which is going to be our new platform for submitting and setting work. And then we've also had tutors, and myself included in that, calling around every week to keep in touch with you lot, generally checking how you all are, is everyone keeping healthy and well, and how you've been getting on with the work. So far, I think I've spoken to the majority of you, at least individually, and it sounds like all things have been well within this period. So, like I said before, we're going to be moving to virtual lessons, and this is going to start as of next week. So we're going to be setting lessons and creating lessons and delivering lessons online, and it will involve you as a student tuning in at a certain time as such through Microsoft Teams to get the content. Now the content might be just a question and answer session with your teacher. It might be actually new content being learned, so you get an opportunity to learn something new. Or it might just be an opportunity to be creative and fire ideas off from potentially other students as well. So this means you'll be given a timetable, and your lessons are going to be planned around that, and you'll be expected to be on a virtual lesson and a virtual meeting at a certain time of the day. If you miss that, the lessons will still be recorded, but you're not going to get the opportunity to ask questions to your teachers. And we're going to do this through something called Microsoft Teams. Now, all of you should have hopefully had information on that already and how to get logged on, but your log on and username and password will be your username and password you use when you're in school to get onto the computers. In addition to that, as you'll all know, because this will be on the YouTube channel, we've launched our Charter Academy YouTube page. Now, it's not just going to be for assemblies, and so you get to see me all the time. It's going to be used for how-to guides from students, and it's going to act and parents, sorry, to help out with parents, and it's going to act as another tool to help you with your learning. Essentially, we want to put in place as much as we can to ensure you're getting the best opportunity and not falling behind during this time without that one-to-one tutoring or support from your teacher. And then, like I said, we have moved on to a new platform called Show My Homework. Now, within year 9, we haven't done fantastically at getting everyone logged on. We've actually only got 68% of you logged on. So 62 people are still to log on to Show My Homework. And this is currently the lowest in the school. So we need to sort that out. There's no excuse to not get logged on. If you do not know your password or you're having issues of logging on, you need to let your tutors know. It will get to a point now where if you're not logging on and completing work, it will go down as a fail, and you're going to get to a point where you're going to have to catch up. So avoiding it now is no way to go about it. You need to make sure you stay on top of it. So please, 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 if you take anything from the assembly, it is to get logged on to Show My Homework and start doing the work and letting your teachers know that you've completed the work. So I thought it might be a nice idea during this time to give you some quick tips and some advice on how you might be able to cope a bit better during this period. Because I know lots of people across the world have suffered with mental health issues during this period. It's a very nervy time and no one really knows what's going on. And lots of people have gotten to the point of losing their routine. So school can act as a really good way of keeping your routine from day to day. And when you don't have that structure, lots of people struggle. So I thought I'd go through a few things that could help you out along the way. So a big one to start with, and I advise you all to stay on top of this one as well, is to make sure you keep up to date with the government guidelines and what's given out weekly, daily. We all know the slogan regarding staying alert and controlling the virus, which is a big one. And then on the other side, I've just put some do's and don'ts off the NHS website regarding social distancing and looking after yourself outside of the house, because I'm under no illusion that a lot of you will be going out and about. You'll be going on walks or going out and meeting with potentially groups of people in the park and so on. So the best thing for you to do is to make sure you're staying safe when you're doing that. So make sure we're staying 2 meters apart, washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, using hand sanitizer. Wash your hands as soon as you get home, so you're not bringing anything into the house, so you're not infecting other people if you do catch it or carry it. Covering your mouth and nose with a tissue or a sleeve when you cough or sneeze, and then making sure you put any used tissues in the bin immediately and then wash your hands. A big one as well is that when you're out and about, try not to touch your eyes, nose or mouth, as this is how the virus gets into your body. Secondly, which is a big one as well, I find sometimes gets me down a bit, is the news at the moment. Everything is very, very negative. There's lots going on in the world at the moment, and it can cause quite a lot of anxiety with some people or confusion. So one thing I did as well was take a bit of a break from the news for a few days at least, or try to only limit myself to watching the news a couple of times a week. It's important you stay up to date with advice on what is going on, but too much of it can have a negative impact on your life. So you can either switch it off, or if you're having these feelings, just talk to someone about it. That might be one of your friends, it might be a family member, anyone you think will listen. And another thing I'm quite passionate about is limiting your social media use. So I'm a big believer that too much social media will directly impact on your mental health, and you should be limited to how much you go on it. There's lots of studies showing that there's a correlation between time spent on social media and decreases in mental health. So one thing you can do is set a screen time limit on your phones. So I think I have mine set for maybe an hour a day on social media, and then it comes up and it tells me how long I've got left or how much I've used, and then I'll make sure I don't go on it again. Or another thing you can do, just have an hour or so away from your phone, and just put it in another room or put it on charge in another room. again, like we said before regarding the news, lots of people are just generally feeling quite anxious at this point in time, and that might be because we're being told to stay indoors. We're not getting to socialise with other people as much. Our social health isn't as good. But a big thing, or the best thing I'd advise to do if you are feeling nervous, anxious, or down, is to talk to someone about it, and talk to someone you trust, because it's not easy to just talk to anyone. Talk to someone you trust, and that doesn't necessarily have to be your parents. It doesn't have to be a brother or sister. It can be anyone you trust. So it could be a member of staff in the school, could be one of your friends when you're online, anything like that. But someone you think is going to give you sort of that positive advice or the support you might need, because it makes a huge difference just talking to someone. And then another one I'm a big advocate of is setting a daily routine. Lots of people I've tried to call have often been in bed when I've been calling, and I've been calling at about 12 o'clock in the day. So you're still in bed at 12 o'clock in the day. I'm a bit worried. We need to make sure we're setting our routine. So one, it's not such a shock when we do one day get back to school, but also to make sure you're getting up and making the most of the day. Some of you might stay up late. That's absolutely fine. But you need to make sure you're getting up and trying to go to bed at the same time, and not too late in the day. So getting that routine back. And one thing I like to do is create a to-do list and make sure I just tick it off as I go throughout the day. I'd advise you not to get up any later than 9 o'clock. Any later than 9 o'clock. So don't sleep in for too long. No lay-ins. And then obviously I'm slightly biased with this one, but I do advise everyone to get active. It doesn't necessarily mean going out and running a marathon or anything. It could just be going for a walk. It could be playing in your garden if you have one, anything you want. I understand that lots of people might be worried about catching the virus if they do go outside, but if you take all the appropriate measures, then you will look after yourself and others around you. So get out for that walk, go for that hour a day, at least as a minimum, if not longer if you can. One I've really enjoyed doing over this period has been the Joe Wicks workouts on YouTube. He does do a Fancy Dress Friday. If you really get into them, I've done one, but anything you can possibly do to get active, go for it. Hopefully within PE, we're going to start uploading some activities and some live lessons for you to do to get you active. And then another thing as well is to learn a new skill. Anything you want to learn a new skill. It could be juggling, it could be playing an instrument, learning to do a Rubik's Cube, anything you want, but something that's going to challenge you differently, which will move quite nicely into this. So keep your brain occupied and challenged. So set aside time in your routine for this. So if you're getting stressed with work, try to break it down into smaller chunks. So 30 minutes at a time, and then have 20 minutes off learning something or doing something different. And when I say challenge your brain, I don't mean go read a book. I mean, read a magazine you're interested in, or listen to a podcast, or watch a new film you haven't seen before, or do a puzzle, something that is going to engage you. So hopefully there's a few hints and tips in there that will help you out day to day. There are also some links to websites here that are helpful if you are really struggling with your mental health. So mind.org, mentalhealth.org, Anxiety UK, and Childline are all excellent websites you can go to and phone in sites that you can just speak to someone about how you're feeling. And it's absolutely perfectly normal for you to be feeling anxious at this time if you are, or nervous, because it is really unknown, and it's something that is going to affect a lot of people across the world. Okay, so we've got a short video here, which I think is quite important, and it's called Hindsight 2020, or the Great Realization, and it sort of outlines the importance of the time we have, and perhaps puts a bit of a positive spin on the virus, which I know can be quite difficult, but hopefully it will change your mind a bit after you've seen it.
Tell me the one about the virus again, then I'll go to bed.
But my boy, you're growing weary, sleepy thoughts about your head.
Please, that one's my favourite. I promise, just once more.
Okay, snuggle down, my boy, though I know you know full well. The story starts before then, in a world I once would dwell. It was a world of waste and wonder, of poverty and plenty, back before we understood why hindsight's 2020. You see, the people came up with companies to trade across all lands, but they swelled and got much bigger than we ever could have planned. We'd always had our wants, but now it got so quick. could have anything you dreamed of in a day, and with a click. We noticed families had stopped talking. That's not to say they never spoke, but the meaning must have melted, and the work-life balance broke. And the children's eyes grew squarer, and every toddler had a phone. They filtered out the imperfections, but amidst the noise, they felt alone. And every day the skies grew thicker, till you couldn't see the stars. So we flew in planes to find them, while down below, we filled our cars. We'd drive around all day in circles. We'd forgotten how to run. We swapped the grass for tarmac, shrunk the parks till there were none. We filled the sea with plastic, because our waste was never capped, until each day when you went fishing, you'd pull them out, already wrapped. And while we drank and smoked and gambled, our leaders taught us why. It's best to not upset the lobbies. More convenient to die. But then in 2020, a new virus came our way. The governments reacted and told us all to hide away. But while we all were hidden, amidst the fear and all the while, the people dusted off their instincts. They remembered how to smile. They started clapping to say thank you and calling up their mums. And while the car keys gathered dust, they would look forward to their runs. And with the skies less full of voyagers, the earth began to breathe, and the beaches bore new wildlife that scuttled off into the seas. Some people started dancing, some were singing, some were baking. We'd grown so used to bad news, but some good news was in the making. And so when we found the cure, and were allowed to go outside, we all preferred the world we found to the one we'd left behind. Old habits became extinct, and they made way for the new, and every simple act of kindness was now given its due.
But why did it take a virus to bring the people back together?
Well, sometimes you've got to get sick, my boy, before you start feeling better. Now lie down and dream of tomorrow, and all the things that we can do. And who knows, if you dream hard enough, maybe some of them will come true. We now call it the Great Realization. And yes, since then there have been many. But that's the story of how it started, and why hindsight's 2020.
So I felt that video was quite powerful, and it sort of put, like I said, that positive spin on what is an awful thing. Lots of people have had a great opportunity to bond with their family, and hopefully you lot have as well, and had time to spend with family and learn a bit more about each other. We can be a bit glued to our phones, we can be a bit disengaged from each other. So hopefully if you take anything positive away from this period of time, it is that you spent a bit more time with family or got in contact with someone who you haven't spoken to for a while. So last few points I wanted to make, just to sort of quickly summarize and make sure we leave with a few things on our head. Remember, the big one I wanted you to take away regarding Share My Homework is to make sure you get online every day. So Monday to Friday, I'll give you the weekend off, but every day, every school day, and complete some schoolwork. Make sure you're getting logged on and speaking to your tutors if you are struggling to get logged on. I'll be checking to make sure you get logged on, and if you don't, then we're just going to be in a point where we're further behind. I'll be phoning round if I haven't got everyone on within the next 2 weeks. Following that, make sure you work hard not to be behind when you get back in school. If you're taking this opportunity to just sit at home and do nothing, then you're going to be behind when you come back, and you will be attending after school lessons. So you're still going to make up the time you've missed. You can do a little bit and often, so you can do a little bit every day and make sure you're on track of it and on top of it, or you're just going to have to stay behind when we do eventually get back to school. And we don't want that. We want you to make sure you're going into year 10 ready and raring to go. Maintain a routine, get up early, don't lie until midday. Like I said, don't lay in any further than 9 o'clock. I'd say get up, and it could be anything. Just be making a cup of tea, having breakfast. You don't have to get up and start doing work. It could be even putting the TV on, but just don't lay in all day. Yeah. And then, as I usually say, just try to be the best version of yourself every single day. Go be better than you were the day before. Learn something new. Challenge yourself every single day. The last bit we've got coming up is actually quite interesting. have put a quote by KSI, so the YouTuber, and I was listening to him on a podcast recently with Lou Theroux, and he said this quote below, which was, I don't class myself as particularly talented at anything. I class myself as a person who works hard and knows what I want to achieve. And I think that's a really good way of thinking about how we're going to have to be when we come back to school, because those who are talented in this period of time, you cannot rest on your laurels. Yeah, you need to make sure you're studying, because when we get to that period of studying, when we get to our GCSEs, talent won't get you far enough. Hard work will get you there. If you want to get that dream job when you're older, or you want to have that lifestyle when you're older, it's going to be hard work. That's what's going to get you there. So be better than you were the day before and work hard. Amazing. So I hope you enjoyed your first virtual lesson, or virtual assembly, sorry. Hopefully we'll have another one coming out soon, and hopefully I get to see you all soon. Thanks so much. Bye.